All right, Kevin. Well, here we are again for another episode of How to Be a Texan. How you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
Man, I'm so excited to be here. Andrew, how are you, sir? Yes, all right.
All right.
I know better than that.
So you got your gallon of orange soda.
Yes, I got some Big K Diet Orange Soda.
This episode brought to you by Big K Diet Orange Soda.
Gooby gone? Oh, yeah. No.
I don't think it's only made by them. I think it's the exact same substance, actually.
It tastes fine. I get it for 79 cents at Kroger. It's another 2-liter bottle, so it's fine. The actual was like $1.84.
Man, you big time savings.
I'm just saying. There you go. So, hey, today we're going to talk about the Houston-Dallas rivalry.
What rivalry?
Exactly. So,
is Houston in Texas?
Oh, boy. It's a fantastic city. It's a mecca of growth and wonderful living opportunities.
I've heard going to the port there is amazing. It's almost like San Francisco. It's just beautiful. The water's clean.
Yeah? I've not heard that.
I haven't either.
I've not heard that at all, as a matter of fact. As you're looking at all these gigantic oil tankers go by.
Well, you spend a lot of time in Houston, so I'm going to kind of defer to you on this one and kind of guide me through, because they've meant very little to me in my life, so yeah. I really have no idea what they do down there.
Okay, so the way we're going to attack this is we're going to talk first about kind of Kevin and my perception of this Houston-Dallas rivalry, and then we're going to go into this article that was written by the Texas Monthly that was really good, and it kind of describes in detail some of the cities, really the top 5 cities in Texas, and the unique kind of dysfunctionality that they all have amongst each other. And then, believe it or not, we've got some audio clips this week. So
awesome.
That's fun. So I did.
Did you do some investigative reporting?
I did, because you gave me this.
Did you use the question that I gave you?
You did. You gave me a question, and you said, Kyle, ask exactly like this. And I did it, and I giggled a couple of times at it because it was so offensive.
Good.
But we're going to get to hear that. And then I interviewed a couple of buddies of mine in Houston, and they gave me some of the lifelong Houstonians, and they gave me some of their opinions on why there's always this friction. So, and then I have a really unique predictive model at the end that should be able to tell everybody exactly where to live to get maximum joy.
I can't wait to drill into that.
I've spent 2 weeks on this. It's not that great, but I've really thought about it. And so I'm going to challenge our listeners to help me out on my predictive model for joy.
All right, very good.
Okay, so the first I wanted to do, Kevin, is I don't care if you've spent time in Houston or not. Tell me your perception of why there's a rivalry between Dallas and Houston.
Actually, I have spent time in Houston, and it's actually a phenomenal city. I mean, we like to kind of poke fun at it. But it is great. I mean, there's lots of great food down there, and lots of business opportunities down there. It's a cool city. I mean, it's one of the largest cities in the U.S. and definitely it's a cool place.
Right.
So, why is there a rivalry? Well, we're both Texas cities.
Right.
Texans always push on each other, make fun of each other, laugh at each other. Break out into a fist fight every now and then. All right, so you got 2 big Texas entities that are international cities.
Right.
Both have international airports. Houston has an actual port.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just kind of that. It's just kind of a family. Let's get together and put each other in a headlock and give each other a noogie, and we still love each other. Right? That's how I view it.
Yeah. No, me too. And I think I've said it one time before that if you push Texans and if you push against Texans, then we band together and we kind of fight strong together and protect our state, because we're kind of Texans first.
Right.
But in the middle of our dysfunctional family, it's exactly like you said, kind of 2 brothers that just beat the crap out of each
right.
other. Yeah.
I mean, do you think of Dallas as the younger brother or the older brother?
Yeah. No.
I kind of think of Dallas as the younger brother in a way.
Really?
Yeah. Kind of like, Houston's the older brother, then here comes the young, cocky brother getting all the attention.
Yeah.
He's the popular one in high school.
Yeah.
Older brother's like, jeez, this guy gets on my nerves.
Yeah, no,
That's how I view it.
I think first I think of NASA and all these engineers down in Houston, kind of with the pocket protectors and real nerdy looking, and then you get these kind of young, preppy looking parachute pants wearing, geeky whatever Dallasites or
Parachute pants.
Yeah, they're all preppy. I kind of get the nerdy engineers.
Are parachute pants back?
Well, not for me. I was kind of
for anybody.
Well,
they're not back for anybody. Anyway, I get your point.
Okay, so
a little more uppity up here, a little snobby.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's and you'll hear I get that from my Houstonian friends that I interviewed with your horrific question. I get a lot of that we're Houston strong, and you Dallas people are a bunch of snobs. And
Houston's a little more blue collar, would you say?
Well,
you got the refineries and
Yeah.
the ports, and
that's right.
it feels a little bit the best analogy that I could come up with for folks that aren't from around here. If you've been to California, it's kind of a bit like Dallas might be a little bit like Los Angeles in a way. Kind of about money and plastic surgery.
There is
Hollywood.
A lot of that. Yeah.
And Houston's a little more like Oakland. It's a little more blue collar.
Oh yeah.
A little rough around the edges, but still a cool city.
Well, when I fly in and out of Hobby, it's pretty rough there. But then again, there are plenty of pockets in Dallas that are rough.
Well, that's true.
You're right, though. I think there are pockets of the beautiful people in both of those.
That's true.
I've told you about the beautiful people that I see in Dallas that are full length fur coats and pointy-toed boots. But they live in Houston too.
Yeah.
So I don't much care for that type of person.
I do find myself apologizing a lot to non-Texans who come to Texas and spend time in Houston. I find myself as a Texan apologetic for that, but
it's so foul.
But no, again, it's kind of like that's my older brother down there. He's a little awkward.
That's terrible.
Building in China closet, but we still love him down there.
No, it's not. It's not like your special ed brother. That's not it.
I did not say special ed.
Well, you kind of made it out. That's not it.
Say special ed.
No. So this Texas Monthly article, it's pretty interesting. I'm not going to have a sponsorship moment here, but anyway, it's called Texas Cities One Big Dysfunctional Family. And it talks about the 4 big cities. Wait a minute, 5. I'm sorry. Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, and Austin. And so it really talks about San Antonio being the oldest sibling, and then it gets into Dallas and Houston are the warring fraternal twins. Which
that sounds about right.
Yeah, that does sound right. And then you talk about the scrappy little sidekick Fort Worth.
That's right. Little cowboy out there.
Yeah, which is sad but true, but that's kind of how Fort Worth ranks in. And then you get, they go nuts about Austin, about how cool it is. And
Austin's the brother that became a hippie, and you still love him, but it's just a little odd.
Yeah. So, but then there's
San Antonio is the most humble of all. I would think.
It is the most humble.
It's very quietly confident down there,
and they should be, because it's kind of the cool place to go. It's one of the coolest places in Texas to go. It's got all the history with the Alamo and whatever, and the Riverwalk and the tourist scene. We got all these military bases down there. We don't talk too much about San Antonio. It's so cool.
It is cool.
Anyway, but then we just beat the crap out of each other between Dallas and Houston. And this article doesn't help at all, because he says a little bit later down toward the end, I'll just read this whole paragraph because it's funny. It says, finally, Dallas loves to remind Houston that Houston drinks Dallas's toilet water. It's so bad. Really. Not only has Houston had to put up with Dallas denying its existence, but he has, as one professor put, been drinking Dallas's crap for decades. Dallas is an even worse version of the big brother that doesn't lift the seat. Oh my gosh, that is so bad.
So what is that? We just flush all of our sewage into the... what river go down? Is it the
Trinity?
Trinity goes down to Houston. Yeah,
we put all our dead bodies and
send them all out to the sea. And
send it down to Houston.
Houston's like the filter. It's like the liver of Texas. We direct all the toxins in there.
That's horrible. So anyway, then I got down there. The place I work, the corporate office is down there. So I went and spent a little time. A couple of guys that I spent time with, Mike and Dan, they gave me their perception on this. So it's a little bit longer of a take, but let me play this for us. here's my interview. I've got my buddies Mike and Dan here, and I'm trying to find out why Houston is so great and Dallas is so bad. So what do you think about your perception of Dallas? You think they're a bunch of snobs and those Cowboys and all that?
Are we talking about their football team?
Just whatever. There's generally some friction between Dallas and Houston, right?
There's generally a sense that Dallas is a bit uppity.
See?
Right? A little high on themselves.
Absolutely.
No, those Dallas people are snobs.
Well,
But here's what I'd say about that is people in Houston have a great sense of reality, and when we sense that, it could be true.
oh, I think this is all historical. I think it's all the football wins that they had while we had the Oilers and they were horrible. And every kid had somebody who lived on their street who you're all supposed to be an Oiler fan, but that guy jumped ship and was a Dallas fan.
He's wearing a Staubach
Yes.
jersey versus an Earl jersey.
So we're always mad at that
Or
kid.
Dan Pastor.
And the fact that they had that very successful, great TV show, and Dallas represented Texas when people in Houston felt like Houston should have represented Texas.
Well,
but
or
if
the
you're my
Dallas-
generation, those between the Dallas Cowboys being so good and that Dallas TV program,
Yeah.
that's why we don't like
so
Dallas.
all I just heard you say is that we're jealous.
Yeah. Oh, very, very insecure and jealous. Yes, absolutely. Now they're not as good as they think, and they are uppity for unwarranted reasons. But our insecurities are apparent. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: we don't have a winning football team.
Well,
And I don't know that
neither
we
do they right
I don't
now.
know
does
that you-
Dallas.
but I don't know. But we have no rings, nothing to show.
Oh,
for
but we
it.
smoked them in baseball. Is that
We did
still
Yeah,
considered
no
a
kidding.
sport?
Go Stros.
It's still it's a sport now. I mean,
Right.
at least after last year, it's a real sport.
Right. Yeah. Now we want it to count.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting question because there is no doubt a bit of rivalry between
Yeah.
cities, and Dallas has been painted, and I think maybe because of the show Dallas, as this fluffed up, not accurate version of what Texas is. That was a rich, kind of wealthy, problematic family in many ways, versus kind of this Southeast Texas feel of oil field workers and such, and the West Texas feel of ranchers and all. Dallas didn't represent that.
Dallas is where the rich men pull the oil out of the ground. Houston is where the blue collar workers with their name on their shirt actually work in the plants to process it. So you got that's the perception.
Yeah.
The rancher, the oil man,
Yeah, the high class
versus
versus the
the blue collar guy who works in the plant.
No, I think that's pretty fair.
All right. Okay, guys. Thanks for your.
But it's not personal.
It is to me. I'm a Dallas guy. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, so I like the answers.
I did too.
I like the acknowledgement of the insecurity.
Right.
I like the sports analogies there. That's pretty obvious. The one thing that they should have said about the football teams is that at least when it came to coaches, they had Bum Phillips, and we ended up with Wade Phillips. Bum was much, much better than Wade.
Yeah.
You got to admit that.
Yeah, but you go back. I mean, you think about the Cowboys. They're seen as America's team.
Of course.
And they have been ever
Yeah.
since Roger Staubach and that team won all those Super Bowls back in the day. And the eyes of Texas were upon them. We got all of Mexico. You go anywhere in Arizona, we've got fans in Florida. I mean, we got up in New York, we got so many Cowboy fans up there. And so there's that natural. And they're not any good today.
Oh, no, they're not. They just have, it's marketing. It's
That's right.
brand.
It's
They have a
incredible.
strong brand.
That's right.
Yeah.
But then that show Dallas with JR and Sue Ellen and all that back in the day, it was powerful. It just showed this lifestyle that people wanted to be these oil barons and have all this drama amongst all these beautiful men and women. And, it just showed power.
People ask me about that to this day.
Oh,
People
yeah.
from all over the world that I work with.
Right.
People whether it's in the UK, Europe,
That's right. What's the
Japan.
name of that house they live in? Or
Yeah, South Fork.
South
Yeah,
Fork, yeah.
people ask me about that all the
You
time.
go up to South Fork all the time. I've never been there in my life. I've driven by it once. I'm
I've
like,
never
oh,
been
there it
there
is.
either. I've never been there either.
But it's anyway, Mike nailed it with his perception of, the oil baron lives in Dallas and the
And
guy
the blue
working the
collar guy
field with his
lives-
name on his shirt. I thought that was perfect.
That's perfect.
So, yeah. So, all right. Well, then Kevin sent me off on a very evil journey.
I did not.
You did.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was kind of funny. And so Kevin gave me a question to ask. And so I was down there at our offices for the company I work for, and I went to lunch with some folks, and so I'm talking lifelong Houstonians, very proud. And
They should be. It's a great place.
And so there were a couple of them.
It's a great place, but I just have one question about it, which I think you're getting to.
Okay, so here we go. So I'm gonna play this from my friend Daniel down there, who's a very, very smart man. So here we go. Let me play that.
So just go off your gut instinct. Don't curse.
Okay, Daniel. According to the American Lung Association, Houston ranks number 12 as one of the worst cities in the country for air pollution. Kevin, my friend, would like to know why y'all so nasty down there. It's so bad.
Well, because people in Dallas like to use gasoline and chemicals, and we make
I can't believe you took the question seriously.
Fair answer. So that's why you're so nasty? Just kidding. I couldn't help myself there. And then
That is the question I've always had.
Why
Why are they so nasty down there?
so wrong.
I love the way you ask it. It's as if you're reading it. I mean, you're kind of like a casual conversation. Like my friend Kevin, why are y'all so nasty down there?
Yeah. So at the same lunch table, I asked a young lady named Kendall, and I got this reaction of shock and awe.
I say cut.
Just all the stuff.
Say whatever you want to.
All the things you hate about me. Just let them out.
Okay, so just
So
say.
yeah, just let it go. So okay, I got to do this without laughing. According to the American Lung Association, Houston ranks number 12 as one of the worst cities in the country for air pollution. Kevin would like to know why y'all so nasty down there.
There's no way this is real.
So why y'all so nasty down here in Houston?
This is not real. You were joking with me.
I'm not. This is legit. I'm a Dallas side asking a Houstonian why y'all so nasty.
Because I know I live from that. They live 40 miles north.
We're clean up here.
See
Kendall
that?
from the Woodlands, Texas.
All right, fine.
See, Kendall was smart. The smart thing to do is just not engage with that at all. Not engage.
This is not real. I think that's
Like,
a lot.
this cannot be real.
No, and then I went and I got two more for you, and I'll quit. But one, this is one of the absolute smartest guys that I know, and he takes me pretty serious. So anyway, listen to my friend John here.
That's what happens when there's someone who has an inferiority complex. They think there's a rivalry. I wouldn't even think that there's a rivalry.
I don't think there is either. Okay, so this is Kevin. It says, when you interview them, you need to ask them this question. Say it's from Kevin. According to the American Lung Association, Houston ranks number 12 as one of the worst cities in the country for air pollution. Kevin would like to know why y'all so nasty down there. That's the question. Why y'all so nasty down there?
We have the refineries and we have the port that
Yeah.
he gets to enjoy.
I get to
all
enjoy the
goodies,
port.
but we have to deal with all the nonsense that comes out.
Okay, so,
That
But
port
that's
is
why
so
I live in the
enjoyable.
country, as far away from that as I
so
can.
y'all not so nasty?
We got clean, fresh air out there.
Okay, excellent.
Now, there was an answer of someone who might have questioned my mental stability if I'm not if I'm reading the show notes correctly.
Oh, yeah. So you don't want to hear his legitimate answer. You want to hear his
Oh,
fabricated
did he actually
answer?
have a legitimate
No.
answer?
My buddy Dr. Middlebrook, he gave me two answers.
Oh, interesting.
His first one was with some shock value.
Well,
to
I
it.
will be the judge of how legitimate Dr. Meadowbrook's answers actually are.
Okay. All right. So let me hold on. There we go. Here's Dr. Middlebrook's legitimate shocked answer.
Shocked answer.
Yeah. Okay, I'm here with Dr. Middlebrook. All right, Dr. Middlebrook, here's the question. According to the American Lung Association, Houston ranks number 12 as one of the worst cities in the country for air pollution. Kevin would like to know why y'all so nasty down there.
That's a stupid question. Hey, it's refineries, baby.
Well,
Terrible refineries.
oh, okay.
Make the economy go around.
the Gulf Coast.
But the real question is, what makes him think he's not?
All right. So Kevin's nasty and Houston's not.
Yeah, you're fine though, pal.
Okay. All right.
Stellar.
You're fine.
Stellar
Okay.
individual.
All right. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So that's
that was amazing.
Yeah. So that's enough. That's enough. But yeah, he was saying you're nasty even for asking that. So he got.
All right. Coming up after the break, special guest Dr. Middlebrook.
No, he's got a long history of with Texas heritage. So we ought to bring him on someday.
We should absolutely.
And he's one of the 4 guys that actually listens to this. So
Shout out to Dr. Middlebrook. Love you, baby.
Yeah. So that's enough with the real audio. So give me a wireless mic. And you heard people kind of chiming in because I'm asking them that as we're walking down the hall coming back from lunch.
Nice.
And you hear people Gulf Coast, yelling in from the background.
And you run this hospital, right?
And no, it's a corporate office. So yeah. So then my last.
Well, before we move, just real
okay.
quick, what was your kind of general, as a summary, what was your sense? Do they feel the rivalry? Do they not?
Yes.
Do they?
Oh no, it's real.
It's real?
Absolutely real. And Mike, the one who's talking about the guys with their name on their shirt, I think he nailed it the best.
Yeah.
That because of the Dallas show, because of the Cowboys' success in the 70s, there's always been this perception of Houston really should represent Texas in America, but Dallas always has. Mm-hmm. And there's this, unfortunate rivalry between, as the article says, warring fraternal brothers, or whatever.
But it's more like a family rivalry.
Right.
You didn't get any true negatives. It's kind of like a family.
No.
It
is. It's like that. It's like, I don't hate you. You just bother me because you're my brother. And so,
I don't want to see you other than Christmas, Easter, major holidays. Other than that, leave me alone type of thing.
It's like my twin 14-year-old boys, how they just fight and they just drive each other crazy. They love each other, but they drive each other crazy. And it's like that almost.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, so then I came up with this other thing, and I want to share with you yet another theory. And I know my ADD medicine is probably off.
It's way off.
But I came up with this theory, and I was thinking about, okay, if you live in New Jersey or Toledo, Ohio, or Detroit or whatever, and you say, hey, Texas sounds pretty cool. I like Kevin and Kyle. I've been listening to them for months and months now. This is amazing. I want to move down there because Texas sounds.
I think there is a huge funnel of people moving to Texas just because of this podcast.
That's
fantastic. So I'm glad you're getting this on the table right now.
I'm just glad that we can help. This is a community benefit that we're offering.
That's right.
So anyway, enough of that. It's like your Perel commercial.
Enough of that.
I told 2 friends,
and they told 2 friends, and
so on
and so on.
Yeah, so it's like that. So our Toledo friends who are thinking about this, I came up with this joy of life predictive model. Okay. And so I thought about it, and I put all of this stuff in kind of this funneling, these analytics in this funnel.
You ran analytics on it.
Well, I have a model now that I can run through it. And so I'm asking our friends out there, the four buddies that listen to this, if you've got ideas on how to take this to the next level, I'm ready because I've got my predictive model on joy of life ready to go. And so the way you do it is you put together 2 kind of base things, and they're really controllable factors and non-controllable factors or variables. And the non-controllable ones are around crime rate, the cost of living, the tax structure,
Gotcha.
Things of that
nature. Things that are out of your control.
Non-controllable. Yeah. The controllable things are more along the lines of what we've been talking about with the blue zone, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, things of that. So you think about, remember Maslow's, and when we all learned it in psychology and whatever. Well, anyway, you've got kind of the base layers, which are I need to protect myself and have, air and food and whatever so that I can live. And then you go up to security, and then you go up to esteem and kind of quality of life factors.
Right.
Well, the blue zone, it's the same kind of thing. You have these quality of life factors that kind of play in. And so I was thinking, okay, well, if you put all these analytics into the kind of this handheld app or whatever, and you're like, okay, I'm interested in moving from Toledo, Ohio to Frisco, Texas, or the Woodlands, Texas, or whatever, Church, Texas, outside of San Antonio. Then I'm going to put in that city or that zip code, and I'm going to compare between the two. And out of this app that drives through these questions that go through kind of this funneling of non-controllable and controllable variables, it basically can help me predict where I'm ultimately going to have more joy of life.
I like it.
And so then it's a contrapositive, positive way to do it, where you have to go positive and then negative and then positive and negative. That's and I've drawn all this out. And the way you do it is you look at, okay, well, what are the lower crime rates between Toledo and Frisco? Okay, the lower the longer age expectancy, the lower cost of living, the higher earning potential. So this is just
comparing the city that you're in to the city where you're thinking of moving to in Texas.
Right.
It's not comparing Dallas versus Houston on these factors. You could plug those two cities into the app, obviously, and do that.
That's right. That's right. And so, but I think what you probably end up having to do is on the non-controllable is you basically take every zip in the country, plug it through this, and then that's got its own thing, and then you plug your own kind of life factors into it, and your esteem needs and your social needs and your church needs and your faith and all this other. You plug all that in.
I love it.
It basically says, here's the joy of life predictor for you're probably going to be better off if you live in Toledo versus Frisco.
So if I'm in Toledo and I plug in Toledo versus Dallas and look at that, and then I do Toledo versus Houston and look at that, which one wins?
Right. That's right.
No, I'm asking you which one.
I don't know. It's all a matter of those analytics. So I'm saying it's a theory.
You have the model.
I have the model.
No, I got you.
I need some genius that knows how to do big data to come behind me, and then basically a psychiatrist that knows how to take the higher levels of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs and those kind of ethereal blue zone qualities and funnel them in.
I can help you with the big data side of it, but I'm no psychologist.
Well,
I can't help you on that.
I've read some books. I know enough.
We'll just wing that part. We'll just wing it.
Yeah, I know enough. It's all good. I'm sure we can make that up. So anyway, hopefully we can put out an app that'll help you with your own joy of life predictions.
How to be a Texan app.
Yeah, there you go.
Available in the iTunes store.
Yeah, that's right. So
Coming
anyway,
soon. All right.
So back to the bottom line is, I do think that there is a healthy rivalry between Houston and Dallas. I think that's kind of what we just wanted to acknowledge today. We don't really have any cold, hard facts on it. I don't think, unless you have anything.
No, it's just a cultural thing. It's like a family rivalry.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you look at the quality of life in both, I think they're very high. We've always talked about, traffic exists in both, but there's also great job growth. There's great, lifestyles in both. They're very different from a geographic perspective. You've got down by the coast and, the port versus just kind of flat land. And people ask, why do you live in Dallas? Well, and I don't live in Dallas. We live out in the suburbs. But
I do have one question for you.
Yeah.
As you were asking the question and saying that Houston ranks 12th on the list, did anybody ask you where does Dallas rank on this list?
They never did. And that's your little catch.
Never. They are so much higher on the list because the higher you are on the list, the more polluted you are.
Is that right?
Yes. They are so much higher.
Well, let me just ask.
They were number 12.
Okay, God, that's disgusting.
Horrible.
Well, then where does Dallas? I'm sure Dallas is way down.
We're all the way down at 13.
You trickster. You trickster. Wow.
I just was hoping somebody would ask.
Nobody did.
Leave it to a bunch of Houstons to not even ask the most logical, easy tee-up follow-up question possible.
Yeah, they should. No, they just went after you personally.
This guy must be insane.
Yeah, I question his mental competence.
What kind of a sick mind would come up with that? That guy's the nasty one.
Clearly you. Yeah. All right.
Well, very good.
Well, I enjoyed this. So I do think they're both great places to live, but there is certainly in family rivalry between the two cities. So
Very good.
Anyway, appreciate y'all listening to us, and let us know if you have any great ideas or if you got any predictions on my Joy of Life predictive analytical model. I'd love to have
That's amazing.
some help on that.
Well, we'll start a whole new podcast on that.
It's got some legs, I'm telling you.
Predictive analytics on Joy of Life.
That's right. Hey, if we can predict that, then there you go. I'm making $1 million or something.
But I agree. Houston's awesome. Great
Yeah.
town. Love to go down there and visit. Don't want to live there, but it's awesome to go hang out with the folks.
So biased.
Major contributions to the world. Love you, Houston. Shout out to
Yeah.
Houston.
Shout out Houston.
All
We didn't even
right.
talk about NASA. We got rockets and stuff down
That's a
there.
separate episode.
geez.
Spoiler alert. Got rockets and stuff.
We got rockets. The smart propeller heads down there. Nerds. Anyway.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, thank y'all, and talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.